Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Thursday, the 15th of September. But first, a quick recap. Well, one down, one placed at about 12 to 1 and two non-runners. As soon as the two non-runners came through, we were like, oh, here we go. So returned £1.80 for a stake of a fiver. So, on to Thursday. I've gone for Pontefract. I've avoided air. I'll have a quick look at the how the results bear out tomorrow before I make the selections for Friday and the weekend. But let's get into it. So the free racing tips for Thursday are as follows. The bets are to be included in a 10 pence each way lucky 15 and a pound each way accumulator. The first selection is Miss Britain at 4 to 1 in the 142 at Pontefract, paying 5 places instead of 4. I wanted to look for a horse with a bit of value, but I couldn't take my eyes off this Miss Britain. Well, yeah, literally couldn't take my eyes off Miss Britain. There's so many weak horses behind it. I'll get into the form very shortly, but I do like the. I think the trainer Gemma Tutti. I think the stable it seemed to have really improved. She took over from, I believe it was a mum, Karen Tutti, and she's got Laura Coughlin on board and in his apprentice race. And I think the jockey's half decent. Well, a lot of the fancied horses in this race, a couple of them won last time, and I'm probably going to forget them. One of them is Lizardro, and the other one, was it Magical Effect? You'll see them when you put your bet on. Well, they both pretty much were favoured by racing prominently at Catterick and coming near side. Well, Magical Effect won by about 10 lengths. Well, it's not slow ground at Pontefract tomorrow. It's good ground. Maybe a little bit of good to soft in places. Well, that's not going to be as suitable as what that horse wants. Same with Lizardro. It prefers slower conditions. Don't get me wrong. They both love Pontefract. They do like Pontefract. So they've got that in the corner. But I just think the ground's not slow enough for them. So I've gone for Miss Britain, and I'll just show you a quick little bit of form. So, scroll down. So they've got an official rating of 67. It ran off 67 last time in a race at Newcastle. I'm kind of going to forget that. Yeah, that's fine. It's a good run, yeah, but it's the all-weather. And then go to York, straight away, race wide, yeah. It's going further than it needs to. And I think it's over a furlong, maybe further than it wants, yeah. So we didn't run that good a race, yeah. But it was in a class 4 race. Carlisle, stiff 6. So it showed pace throughout. And then it was headed, led again, and then kept on. Well, that's exactly the same the right kind of run style as what you want at Pontefract. You want it up there from the start. If it can't lead, it doesn't matter, as long as it's pressing the lead and basically it's tracking the leader where it can follow the pace, then go on just as it ran in the corner. Then at Nottingham, stumbled start, but then press leader. Yeah, you can imagine it ran a poor race because it stumbled at start. Then York once again. Look, this is the most interesting at York. It was a class 4 event, and I can remember having a bet in this race, and the low numbers or low to centre were massively fancy, more the low numbers. And this was drawn, I believe it was actually 18 of 22. I think it was a non-runner, but I think it was drawn 18. So it came the near side, massively inconvenienced. Well, it runs off a £2 lower mark, and I believe that was an okay run. It came 8th of 21, yeah. And the time before that, it actually won off 63, yeah. Don't know why I said yeah then. And what it did, look, showed plenty of pace. Race far side, led group, pushed long, led again. So it's got loads of pace, this horse has. And I think it should be, as long as they don't go too fast or take each other on, as long as it races prominently, I think that's enough. Then hopefully kick on. And I do believe the penalties of the horses that won last time may be too much for them this time around. And that's where it should have the advantage. I couldn't find a bigger price to go for the value, like a 16, 20 to 1. I couldn't see that there. So I've gone for the favourite. I think 4 to 1, not too bad. It's just about acceptable. So that's quite a bit of rambling on the first horse. You won't be getting that. Don't worry about that on the rest of the horses. So the second selection is Downtown Dubai at 11 to 1 in the 17 minutes past 2 race at Pontefract. This is just the first three placings. This horse is Mark Johnston's. It raced prominent, weakened quickly. It still finished behind a horse, not beaten too far, rated 60. Well, these horses that are heading the market in this race are only rated higher 60s, very low 70s. So I do tend to find a lot of Mark Johnston's juveniles don't handle a Newmarket for some reason. They do fade away very quickly. I don't know if it's a type of horse that he buys that just don't suit that track or what. But obviously he has had winners around there. But yeah, so I do think it could benefit from Pontefract. He does like a winner at Pontefract, as we know Mark Johnston does, and his horses are known for improving quite a lot. You may be able to tell by the betting whether it's actually fancied or not, but I certainly think at the first three in the betting, you've got a Carl Burke who's in fantastic form with his youngsters. He's actually got a first timer. It could absolutely hack up, but it could be nothing. So straight away, there's a place up for grabs. So that's the second selection. The third selection is Solar Joe at 7-1 in the 327 at Pontefract, paying 4 places instead of 3. They said that this one didn't really prove its stamina last time, and I kind of agree, but that was over 1 mile 4.5 furlong at a stiff Newcastle on the all-weather in a decent race, in a better race than this. So it's dropped slightly in class, and I do believe it will stay the distance. There are question marks over a lot of the other horses again, and I think it's worth minimum a place, and that's 4 places instead of 3. And finally, Double the Trouble at 11-1 in the 437 at Pontefract, playing 4 places instead of 3. This has got in and out form for Lucy Wadden. I do think it's capable of running well. I do think it's decently handicapped. It's not a handicapped snip. It's not absolutely chucked in, but it could run a very good race and sneak a place, or even win the race. She is doing well with her fat horses, and yeah, I want to say something else then. And yeah, I do think it could run well. Oh, sorry, it's got no headgear for the first time in quite a while. They've been playing around with different headgears, and I think they've finally decided that are they really working, or are they actually having a negative effect? And could the horse be better? Run a better race without the headgear. So I do expect the horse to race mid-division-ish, and hopefully come with a late run. So they're the selections, or they're the free racing tips. I keep saying that for the algorithm on Facebook, on YouTube. So these are your free racing tips for Thursday, the 15th of September. So the very best of luck. If you can give me a like and subscribe, if you manage to stay this long, that'd be fantastic. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters on this 8-minute video. Over and out. Cheers, mate.